Growing up, she learned to seek out fashion as a source of strength early on and actively uses it as a personal means of empowerment because of her own experiences with bullying and her strong desire to help others win and within the plus-size community. Natasha started Dressing Room 8 to provide a web-based resource where women can gain personal and professional empowerment through her fashion and lifestyle-focused blog, consultation, and coaching services. Dressing Room 8 helps women to think with clarity, dress with confidence, and live with purpose. Not one to stay idle, she loves to keep a full calendar. So aside from running Dressing Room 8, she's an adjunct professor at Nassau Community College, where she teaches Introduction to Women's Studies. She's a lifestyle editor for Plus Model magazine. She's a program coordinator for Long Island Girl Talk, a Long Island community-based startup program that teaches teenage girls of color how to produce, direct, and star in their own radio and television show about women's issues in their communities. And she's recently partnered with her husband to create the new podcast, Woke and Free. She is the host of Our Voices on 90.3 WHPC and is the Director of Business Development for Women on the Rise. Let's give a big round of applause to Natasha Nurse. Do we have any music for Natasha?
Hello, good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Yes, I love this energy. So I want you to happily eat your lunch. We're just going to have an amazing conversation about storytelling because how many women in the room are entrepreneurs, business owners? Raise your hands, right? Everybody. Who's here to level up in their career? Maybe not the entrepreneurial thing, but exactly. So we all have plenty of things that we want to learn and grow from today. And so today, I'm just going to talk for right now, storytelling, and then if you're here with me later, we're going to do a networking mixer, which I'm really excited about. So if you can stay, 8 o'clock, you have a date with me, all right? So let's get started, and it's a conversation, so please engage with me. Don't, like Dr. Akina Finch said, don't make me look crazy up here. So when I ask you a question, please, even if you have food in your mouth, just answer, all right? So let's go. So storytelling. Why is storytelling important? Yell out answers. Don't be shy. Not all at once, ladies. It's your personal narrative, she said. Yes, now they're relatable. Yes. Why, as a business owner, do you need to master storytelling? Exactly. Money. Right, as Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank says, how are we making money? Right, yes. It's a part of making money. It's a part of your branding. It's a part of how you grow in your career, in your business. It is quintessential. If you take nothing else from what I'm going to talk about today, you have to work on being a storyteller. And storytelling from what, right? I want to break this down. From being on a stage, talking to you beautiful women, also your website. How are you storytelling on your website? How are you submitting articles and contributing, telling your story there? I heard a couple of other podcasters, podcasting, classic audio storytelling. How are we sharing our story? Every single day, from even just getting dressed, storytelling, right? You're creating a presence for yourself in this world. It needs to be powerful, it needs to be amazing and dynamic as you are. So to break this down, right, key steps, confidence is key, right? We can't come up here and, who's paying for that? Who wants this? No. Hello, my name is. I want excitement. I want energy every single day. I don't care how tired you are. Don't care how busy you are. Come prepared for life. Next, practice. It takes a lot of time crafting this story. The first time you do it, is it going to be perfect? No. Doesn't matter. Perfection is a fiction. Doesn't matter. But we work at it every single time. We do it once, we say, we could do it again better. Working at it. Next, knowing your audience. All of you wonderful women are here to learn how to level up in your business, in your career. If I came up here on stage and I talked about biology or, my obsession with elephants, that's irrelevant. No one cares. Talk to your audience. What do they want to hear? What do you need for me to say? I need to make sure I deliver that for you. Next, make them care, right? EQ versus IQ. Why is emotional intelligence important? Why do we care? What'd you say? Exactly. Exactly. So when you hear the word bullying, right, I don't just throw that out there to just share my business, but many women, have dealt with bullying. So you relate to me automatically. You say, oh, sister, right? You want to give me a hug. You want to be there with me because we've all been there. Being a bigger body, being a black person in this country, which is not always nice to people that is different. I automatically resonate with you then, right? Next, get creative. Too many people in their business are too rigid, right? We have to learn new skills. We have to learn to, are you okay? Okay. We have to learn how we can better tell our story with technology, with improving in our presentation. ... We have a lot to go through. Next, engaging. I said I want this to be a conversation. Why? Because I'm not confused. This isn't a play. This is not Shakespeare. I'm not giving a monologue. You're not going to give a crap about what I have to say if all I do is talk at you. I want you to talk with me. I want us to be together in this moment so it matters, so it's meaningful to you, right? Next, use words that are going to create vivid imagery. Storytelling is telling a story. So many women here have so many amazing stories, I know it, right? But if you are kind of glimpse over it, or you're like, I nearly died, and then I didn't, and then I had a family, it's not storytelling. Tell me the details, right? I was, 2 minutes from death, I was drowning, detail, really vivid words, so that it resonates, so it's unforgettable. You need to be unforgettable to every single person you meet. Every single person, every single time. And then next, ending with a bang, right? So many people, especially when we're up here on the stage, it's super easy to do your talk and then you're like, cool, I'm done. What was that? Right, let's leave with an impact. And again, you can take that same approach. How are you ending your articles? How are people, when they arrive at your website, they read your bio? At the end, are they just like, eh? Or are they wanting more? Are they seeking more? That's what I mean by ending with a bang. Next. All right, confidence. Okay, so a couple of things. There's a lot of things that could be said, but I don't have forever and a day, guys. So we're going to do this in a New York minute. So confidence. Number one thing, this is something I have to work for myself, good eye contact. Who here struggles with eye contact? Right? When you're talking, it's sometimes awkward to be like, hey, so how are you? What are you doing? You're like, oh my God, you're really intense. It's important because you're present with someone. If you're talking to me and I'm this, do I care? Are we connected? No. But if I'm like, I see you, sister, tell me your story, I'm asking you questions, you're like, I love you. That's got to make good eye contact. Also, posture. Who here thinks about their posture when they're standing up straight? And yes, important. Body language matters. When you're talking to someone and you have slumped shoulders, you don't look confident. You don't look like you're everything in a bag of chips, and you know you are. So come prepared. Stand in your power position and have a conversation. You are Superwoman. You are Superwoman. I know that. You need to know that. Next, speaking up. I naturally am loud, and I understand not everyone is loud, but whatever tone you can get, which is loud for you, I encourage you to use your diaphragm and to speak up so people don't have to say, what? Because it's a part of storytelling. It's about making that presentation with other people, and it's also how you get heard. It's difficult to hear when you're talking like this. I'm still kind of loud. But it's much better when you speak up. And then also excitement. Ladies, excitement. Are you excited to be at the 5th annual Women on the Rise Forum and Expo? Y'all can do better than that. Give it to me like I'm Tony Robbins. Give it to me. Are we excited? Woo! Yes, right? Like that. Excitement. Thank you. Next. Practice. I mentioned this, right? So a great quote to remember. Only through practice and more practice until you can do something without conscious effort. I've been doing public speaking since I was 14 years old. I worked for NASA, and I was doing carbon-stored research. Don't worry, I won't talk about that. But at that moment, that's when I realized I kind of like it. I kind of like getting and connecting with people, and it's scary. It's not easy. I would never lie and say it's not scary, but I can't tell you how many times I've done public speaking. That's how many times I do it. And guess what? I'm also doing live streams, and I'm constantly interviewing. I have probably interviewed like maybe over 150 women this year alone, constantly talking, constantly working on my narrative, my storytelling, so that I can highlight other women, like many of you, hopefully, if you want to come on my platform, but constantly working at it. It's an art, right? The first time you draw something, it's not beautiful, right? Keep working at it. Next. So this is where I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions for knowing your audience. So when we do, who here are public speakers? So I get a room. Okay, yeah, a lot of you. All right, so what is the best of things that you try to do to cater to your communication to your audience? What do you do? Throw out like nice and loud. Yes, but so from a content perspective, how are you catering the communication? Yeah. Yes, speaking words that matters to them. Yep, absolutely. What else? What do we do? Shaquan, do you have advice? I just interviewed her for my radio show. Actionable, deliverable information. Yes. Any other tips? You guys do? Anyone do research, right, on the type of conference you participate? Try to get from the organizer, well, who are the people going to be attending, right, so that you can kind of throw out stories or information that's relevant to who you're speaking to. Next, what will the takeaway be, right? When, as a speaker, I try to think about a couple of things. First, what I want to share with you, right, but what do you want for me to tell you? What are you looking for, right? What are the actionable, deliverable, practical information that I can give you that's going to make your time, worth hearing me? Okay. What do you say? Yes, exactly. Oh gosh, yes. There's so much that could be said about the sales piece of it, right? When you're having a conversation and you're talking about the product and you're like, well, I know. Deliverable information on what you're selling will make the difference between a sale and not a sale. Next. Making them care. So, when it comes to storytelling and sharing your personal story, if I were to go to your website, would I be able to see your personal story, like how you became an entrepreneur? Or is it mostly bland? I see a lot of bland websites, so don't be, shy if now everybody's shy. Okay. Well, who else here was bullied in life? Okay. Is that on your website? Is it relevant to your business or no? Okay. All right. What's another thing that would be, well, since you're talking to me, we're making eye contact. So tell me your business. Cool. Yes. Okay. 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 And how did you get involved with that? Why is that something that moves you? Okay. So that's your story, yeah. And is that on your website, if or wherever the? Oh, okay. All right. But are you creating content around that? And your personal narrative? Beautiful. Beautiful. And how has the response been so far? Are people? Yes. Affirmations, right? Yes. People are craving honesty. They're craving authenticity. We all are more alike than we're different, right? Yeah, I might not necessarily have that same background, but do I know someone in my family who's been an abuser? Yes, absolutely. So when I hear that, yes, my heart, it's pulled right to you and your story. If people would open up a little bit more and share their inner sadness, their inner insecurities, you would be surprised at how many people welcome you. I know media makes it seem like the world is a very harsh place, and it is. It's cutthroat. Life is not fair, nor was it meant to be. But there's a lot of people who have really warm hearts out here who are interested in being a support system for you, but we are not mind readers, or most of us are not mind readers. So you have to share it. You have to tell us so that we say, yes, sister, let me be here for you. I support you. Let me open up my wallet. Let me open up, my calendar, give you my time. People are more giving than I think most people think. So that's why it's important to storytell that way. You want to say something? You sure? I'm here. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, people want you to be real.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be real. You can't tell someone that does drugs that you know about doing drugs. You got to share with your experience.
Yes.
Through life.
Yes.
And take them step by step and let them know if you overcome it, they can overcome it too.
Absolutely.
And be honest with yourself. And in that,
Yes.
they will see the honesty and the realness in your face.
Exactly.
In your words.
Absolutely. Authenticity is something that we can all read instantly, right? You know when you're in front of a poser, you know when you're in front of a faker, right? But it's about being honest and being real. And so we're going to have to really move this up quickly. All right, next. Creativity. So when Dr. Finch, Akina Finch, was sharing all her wonderful wisdom on how you can live stream and tech and stuff like that, again, just give me some hands. Who live streams? Just a couple. Oh, okay. All right. Are people on YouTube here? Everyone's on YouTube? It's a little. Oh, okay. So we're not engaging video technology here too much yet, right? Not yet. So that's a shame, right? Because why? That's where the digital space is going. You can look at trends. You can look at why certain media moguls are the way they are, constantly videoing. Constant. So if you're not doing it right now, that's okay. No one is shaming you. But why are you not? What do you need to do so that from today, you are on there hollering at me, telling me to like your video so I can do the same, right? So what do we need to, and if that's something you want to talk, let's do that offline and, have that conversation. But I encourage you, I wouldn't have any of the opportunities I have if I didn't network like crazy. Love it. And then secondly, be willing to learn something, right? I do everything from digital design that I had to learn, and I'm a lawyer by trade. So definitely not my forte, but I had to learn. I had to sit down and said, you know what? I'm going to invest the time, and I know I can do this. It's half the battle. So I just encourage you to get creative. How can you tell your story in a new, innovative way? Podcast, video, connecting with the media, getting interviews, becoming a journalist. Think outside of the box in how you present your story, and that's how you distinguish yourself from your competitors, okay? Next. Engaging, we talked about this. Guys, it's not like a play, right? No monologues. Even when you're writing something, ask a question. Try to create sentences that encourage someone to be like, yes, ... Engage your audience, whether it's an article, whether it's an interview. I don't care. Try to figure out a way, even if it's one word, one sentence, what are you doing so that the audience wants more from you and or to tell you their story? Next. Vivid imagery. So this, I think, a couple of things I would say. First, if you're like, well, Tasha, I'm not like, J.R.R. Tolkien. Cool, that's fine. I'm not asking you to be. But when it comes to creating vivid imagery, practice what you want to say, meaning what? Do we write down our speeches? Do we write down our talking points? Anyone? Every time, ladies. Every time, right? I have a PowerPoint, and what I do is sometimes I'll print it out, or I'll be up in the morning looking over it, thinking about the language that's going to go through my head. Every time. This is a science. You got to be precise about this. So every single time. But then also, if you want to throw in more like the blue car swerved, right? Then, what are we reading? The content we consume becomes a part of the content we output. So if you want to be a better writer, if you want to be a better speaker, you've got to level up in what you're reading. What are you writing, right? Like those are the things. Who are you connecting with? Right? So those are the things that you can do to work on being like verbally better and the diction and all those things that go into beautiful language. It's a part of the practice, the work that you do to get up here and do this. And then also, that's fine, yeah. Clarity, guys, that's the other thing I just wanted to remind you. If you're telling your story and you get lost at the end of it, you weren't clear with you, nor were you clear with your audience. So, FYI, record. What I do a lot of times is I'll stand in front of a mirror and do my story. Why? Because I want to see how I'm visually, right? If sometimes people have different twerks, if you want to, again, stand in your power position and talk, right? And see what you're doing, but then also record yourself so that you catch every 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 sound that comes out of our mouths. That can be so frustrating. But it's a work in progress. We're all working masterpieces, right? And then I have a quote about the ending with a bang. So just think about this. This is by Susan Paulus Schutz. There are many people that we meet in our lives, but only a very few will make a lasting impression on our minds and hearts, right? We meet millions of people, hopefully, either through social media or in person. Not everyone's going to be memorable. What are you going to do to be memorable? What makes you memorable today? And what are you going to continue to do to practice that so that it's felt on your website? It's felt when I meet you, when that person meets you, when you do that interview. You are amazing. You're amazing. Why are you not sharing your story and making people know this and champion you and cheer you on? It's up to you. You've got to craft this, though. It's all about you taking the time and working, right? Because when we got to get our hair done, we got to get our nails done, da-da-da-da-da. What are you doing to work on you? What are you doing to work on your storytelling? Because that is making you moolah. It's making you business relationships. It's leveling you up in this world. It's amazing when you accomplish so many things, right? It's amazing when you hear your bio said. It's all done by you, so you can work on crafting that better message. Next. So, I don't know if you can see all that. If you want to connect with